Yeah, here's on Fox News. You know, these people, we thank you for your service and your dedication and blah, blah, blah. Oh, please. Whatever. The people are forced to go out there.
Yeah, it's like when people talk like that, it's like they read from a card.
That's why I don't bite my tongue. Somebody says, do you support the troops? Nope, not at all. You know, it's like last week, I think I told you, they had some kind of program going on here for the handicapped veterans in the bowling alley. And they was rolling around, looking up at me, smiling. How you doing? I'm fine. You know, black dude looking at me, he smiling. How you doing, brother? I'm like, I'm cool. I'm cool. What the hell? You damn fool, dude. Stupid. Fight for a country that can't stand your ass and put you in that damn wheelchair for the rest of your days. Ain't nowhere in the world, no way, you get me on the battlefield for this toilet.
Right. Oh, yeah, I remember you told me, you said your coworker was cracking up because of that.
No, this was another time. That's, you know, that other time I was telling you about. That's when that Korean veteran.
Oh, okay.
You know, was telling me that he went over there in Korea to fight for my right to speak. I'm like, I don't need you fighting for nothing. For me. I said, you know, the Creator put a tongue in my mouth. I said, I didn't need you to go over there and do nothing for me so that I could speak. I did that for you. You did nothing for me. Don't bite my tongue. Don't bow down to that. You did that to me. That, you know, for me, that don't even make sense. I'm gonna send my troops over there to fight your troops, and we're gonna shoot and kill each other for the right to speak. That's stupid. That's some political monotony. Yeah, but I was having a chat with a friend of mine on Facebook today named Dominique. And I was telling her that I'm happy that a whole lot of people are starting to wake up with a whole lot of this old this black struggle dilemma. You know, a lot of people are walking away from that. You know, because I was telling her, I said, you know, if you really look at it, our people sound like a bunch of parrots, and they've always sounded like a bunch of parrots. Anytime you are walking around pumping your fist talking about black power, or Ungawa, black power, I said, you sound like a bunch of parrots.
Yeah, a bunch of clowns.
You know, you sound like a bunch of parrots. And the same enemy that you hate so much is the one that's got you sounding like a bunch of parrots. I said, and after all of that, Ungawa, black power, you know, y'all get together and you pump your fist and you say, Ungawa, black power, blah, blah, blah. You say that over and over again for 5 minutes, and then you go sit down somewhere. And then a person like me come up to you and is like, okay, what now? What you mean? What now? I mean, you know, is that all you're going to do? Just stand up there and say, Ungawa, black power? Now what?
They probably be looking at you. They ain't got an answer for you.
And they won't have an answer. Because that doesn't mean anything. That really doesn't have any meaning. It means nothing. And it's like Farrakhan had everybody come all the way out there. Justice Royale came all the way out there. And everybody spent all that money to sit up there for 4 hours and listen to a sermon that is the same old crap that he's been speaking for the past 30, 40 years.
Yeah. In many ways, Farrakhan could be considered a pimp too.
He is. He's a preacher. That's what preachers are. They are pimps. It really don't matter. It really don't matter what religion they belong to. And it really doesn't matter what you chant, whether it's black power or whatever. You're still a parent.
Yeah.
You're able to be programmed, and it means that you're inside of a cage, and you're being programmed from outside the cage. And you inside the cage, which is called the black struggle, and you chanting and chanting, chanting. But you want to know something? You're still in that cage. You just like that parent, saying the same thing over and over again, but you're still in that cage.
Yeah.
And the person that taught you how to say what you said is outside the cage, and he ain't gonna let you out of it. And a lot of them don't want to get out of it because it's comfortable in there.
Yeah, mediocrity is comfortable.
Well, come on, y'all, let's get out of the cage. No, because if we leave the cage, we're actually going to have to get responsible and do something. So,
and responsibility and black folks do not mix together.
So no, I'll just stay here and say Ungawa. I think once people really wake up and ask somebody, what actually did Stokely Carmichael do?
I was just going to say that. I was about to bring up that scene from Black Klansman.
I mean, what actually did he do? What did he do?
Nothing.
Well, he gave great speeches. So, what did he do? You know? And so I'm telling Dominique, I walked away from it. I'm done with it. 2 days ago, I walked away. And if I put myself out there to be involved with anybody, gotta be talking about something. I don't want my name associated with a whole bunch of nonsense.
So people who deal in nonsense, and that's almost entirely what the black sector of YouTube is nigga stuff. Nigga topics. Black relationships, black gender war, the white man shooting us. It's always something like just death. Really, it's a death culture. That's what it is.
And so a lot of people are walking away from it because there's nothing there. That's just like this sister had said that, matter of fact, I had shared her post, and she was saying that our people are too lawless. We ain't never going to get nowhere because our people are too lawless. We hate each other, you know. And she went all the way down the list. Michael Madison just put up there, I profoundly disagree. So I wrote up under his name, I said explain, and we'll go into it later. So he's got all night to give me a reason why. So you're trying to tell me that we're not a lawless person, people? And the biggest scapegoat is always, well, once we have knowledge of self, see, you're still a parent. How many of you say that? Ungawa black power, knowledge of self, parent talk. That's parent talk. You sound like a parent. Love and light, parent talk.
Yeah.
Grand Rising, parent talk. Has absolutely nothing to do with the reality of what's going on right now. I mean, you have to live completely in the moment, and I mean completely in the moment. If you have to bring something to a new conversation, you contaminate it.
Say it again. You have to do what?
If you have to bring something to a brand new conversation, you contaminate it.
Yeah.
Grand Rising, brothers and sisters. Oh my God, are you serious? I mean, what the hell does that even mean? You know, it's something that you are supposed to say. If it's premeditated, if it's a precondition, it is fake. That's what it is. It's fake. So how are you going to open up a real dialogue to deal with the reality of what's going on by opening it up with something that's fake, and then you expect a certain level of dialogue and a certain flavor of dialogue based upon your whole interest? Grand Rising, brothers and sisters. Oh, so that means we have to be a part of the Black Conscious Movement for us to even get into this conversation?
Right.
So it's a cult at the very beginning. Somebody is telling you how to talk, how to proceed, and how to look at the situation. You cannot look at reality through the screen of any other doctrine. I mean, haven't you? What you tired of that? When you was a Christian and a Muslim? If you are involved in anything that reflects a religion, you are a parent. Simple as that.
Simple as life.
If you it's like I was talking to these young men when I was driving the bus one time, and he was talking some common rhetoric, and then he was leading up, for by any means necessary. I said, when you was doing good until you said that. He said, why you say that? I said, you was doing good until you felt like you had to end it based upon something you heard Malcolm say. I said, why don't you think for yourself? Well, I'm just saying, you ain't saying nothing. If you quoting someone else, you are not saying anything. That's my point. And don't say by any means necessary, because the majority of you Negroes are too afraid to do anything any damn way. By any means necessary, yeah, right. Half, your mother or your woman half the time can't get you Negroes get to walk down the street to the grocery store and get a loaf of damn bread.
Even Malcolm would get tired of if he would come back, he would tell Negroes not to follow him like that anymore, because those methods wouldn't work at this time.
They wouldn't want to follow Malcolm if Malcolm came back, because when Malcolm was on his way out, they stopped listening to Malcolm because Malcolm wasn't speaking hate no more. He was talking about the Western power structure. He took it more broader than just blaming it on the European as a person. He saw it as a structure. He saw it as it is. And I'll really be glad when people understand that's exactly what it is, because the same power structure, the same Western power structure that's got us crippled, got them crippled as well. That's why you go to work and there's a diverse group of people at the job, because we are all under the same rulership. And I really be glad when people start understanding that.
Yeah, they call it global so-called white supremacy. Even though I don't like that term, white supremacy, I like to say global white domination.
Yeah. I will say,
or tyranny, global white tyranny.
I will say global Western domination, because it's affecting them as well. It's not color. It is an ideology. And it just so happened to gotten stronger once it came out of, I put it this way, it got more physically stronger once it came out of Rome, and then it got more sophisticated once it filtered into Great Britain. And then it got bluntly violent when it came to America. However, Great Britain kept their sophistication, and what they did, they flushed the trash out of Europe, and this is how you end up with America, which is really,
when it comes to
when it's really just if you look at it, it's just an industrial country. See, over here in America, over in Europe, it's the Western power structure. That's why I was studying up on England, London, England. See, over there, it's not black and white. It's It's the royals and the peasants. So with them, it's about wealth. It's not about color over there. Not with the government. Now with the people in certain areas, it's about color because the government allows that, and you have to allow that to keep everybody divided. And then what you have to do, you have to give a little bit more opportunity to one classification of people over the other for them to think that there's actually an inferiority and a superiority thing going on. That's being supported by the government when it's really not being supported by the government. It's being used by the government to keep everybody separated.
Right.
And so once everybody comes to understand that regardless of how much better I think you have it, I know that has been designed that way just so I can think that way so that I can hate you. And you are programmed, you are put in the position to where you are doing better than me so that eventually you may start looking down on me. See, all of that is by way of design, and that keeps everybody at each other's throats.
That's close to engineering at its finest.
That's all it is. That keeps everybody at each other's throats. Well, look, I got money. I'm this race. I'm white, and we're over here living better than you. Well, it's not something that you doing. Somebody's doing that for you in order for you to look down on this person. You actually think you're better than them, and you wasn't feeling that way before, was you? When you was kids, you was growing up, and you used to play together. What happened? So you mean to tell me somebody didn't make you this way? Yes, somebody did. You just don't realize it. And black people need to be quiet. Oh, we were kings and queens. We were kings and queens. And we slaves to the system. You slave to the same system that your king and your queens created. And they took that. They had that formula for 25 dynasties, sunrises, and whatever they want to call them. And then Rome took their formula, and the Greeks took their philosophies and stuff like that, and they took it into Greek and they took it into Rome, and they put their little twist on it. And then when all of them failed, then Great Britain took over. They need to do their research. So everything that everybody is suffering right now, if you want to put a color to it, then you blame black folks because they the ones who started it. That's if you want to go color-wise.
Right.
But if you're looking at a governmental system, the reason why it's a Western power structure is because the Westerners had took the basic fundamentals, and Egypt is in Western, isn't it, or is it in the East?
Of course, some people say it's Eastern, but the thing is that everything that Rome and Greece or everything that those countries learned came from Egypt.
Right. And
that's a historical fact.
Yeah. And so the Westerners took all of those ingredients and they strengthened their philosophies, they educated their people, and they strengthened their governments. And so it is a Western power structure because they were the ones who had empowered it. It was them who had empowered it. And when they saw how strong it was, they took over the world. And that's exactly the reason why things are the way that they are right now. And ain't nobody in the world can tell me that every European participated, because that is a blunt lie. There was a lot of Europeans who didn't go for it. That's the reason why they had to fight the French, the Germans, the Irish. It was a whole lot of them that wasn't bowing down to that. And who do you see over here in this country right now? The Irish, you got some Germans over here. But, not all of them was going for it. So it is not a race issue. It is like Malcolm said, it is a Western global power structure going on. But them niggas, when Malcolm was up there talking that, they couldn't get it. They didn't want to hear that. They wanted to hear that the white man is the devil. That's all they wanted to hear. He said there's a worldwide revolution going on. He said it's not in Alabama, it's not in Harlem, it's not in Washington D.C. He said it's a global Western power structure, and it took for him to go to Europe and do some studying to find out all of that about. The same way it took me to go to India and be smuggled in Rama, Pakistan, to sit up and listen to the Taliban tell me how things operate. It is not a color thing. It is not. It's just that black people, despite how much they say, oh, it's terrible for us, or they killing us, blah, 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 you niggas love to complain. You like complaining. They found a comfort zone in complaining.
That's all the black church on YouTube is. Negroes complaining about failure.
I mean, think about this. Think about Talib. Think about Farrakhan and all of them, right? Who would they be if everything was resolved?
They would be nobody. They wouldn't have nothing to talk about. They would be losers.
They would lose their mind. If they didn't have anything to complain about, they would lose their damn mind.
You know, also what I noticed too about YouTube, the black stuff that YouTube, that if Negroes wasn't getting shot or oppressed or cheating on one another, or black man versus black woman, they wouldn't have no subscribers. So that's all they talk about. Is nigga stuff and negativity. Anything that's like what we be talking about, like as far as stuff that actually make you think. Those type of videos don't hardly get half the views, or 10% of the views that the nigga topics do. So they would lose their money. Because have you noticed today when you get on YouTube now, everybody asking for donations now? Have you noticed that? It's a new, I call it the Patreon hub. People be like, oh, well, if you like my videos, donate to my PayPal and my Patreon. I'm like, now you niggas is talking about black topics just so you get people to subscribe to you. And it works too. A lot of people getting 5 figures a month off just talking about who got shot this week, or who cheating on who, or who then did this, or who then got locked up. I'm like, man, y'all are making money. Y'all making money off of our pain as a people. And that is like, you couldn't get a profit off like that. And you got a lot of people who's like, what's telling you about racism and stuff. I'm like, to me, at 2018, if people still write books about this, it's like, y'all, to me, y'all are parents profiting off of our people, because Negroes have been known about that. Find my new book, How to Deal with White Supremacy. I'm like, you just want to tell, you just know black folks are stupid and gullible and just profiting off of it. That's all you're doing. I'm proud to say you are.
You remember when I told you I was talking to this young man. He got on my bus one time. He was 17 years old, and I asked him, because he was talking about the conditions and everything, and I asked him, I said, what do you want to do with your life? And he said, I want to be a leader for our people. I said, so you want our people to suffer? He said, no, I want to speak out. I want to be a black leader. I said, so basically what you're saying is you want our people to suffer, so you will have something, you be a leader. I said, because the only reason why you would be a leader is black folks got to suffer. And he got quiet. I said, am I correct? I said, because if the people don't suffer, you can't be that leader. I said, so basically what you're telling me is that you want our people to suffer just so you can feel good about yourself. And when he got out the bus, he said, you know something, man, I'm going to go home. I'm going to think about what you said. I said, it's really not that much thought that you have to put into it. I said, but if that's what it takes, go ahead. Because if the only thing that you can do is to make speeches and put repetitious platitudes in people's mouths to say over and over again, and things are going to remain the same, you don't understand what the problem is. You don't get it.
I know you messed his head up that night.
Because when it all boils down to it, I'm going to throw this on you. When it all boils down to it, the only people who are upset about how things are the ones who have not yet learned how to outwit the system to the degree that they can get involved in it and get out of it what their gift can put into it. You want to know why I say that? You want to know why I say that?
What it says?
That's why the universe told me, look at that documentary on Jay-Z. A genius leaves the hood. I'm like, a genius leaves the hood. A genius leaves the hood. And the universe was telling me it's not talking about physical, it's talking about mental. And then when I sat there and I looked at it, and I'm looking at Damon Dash, hood rat mentality, and how Jay-Z got away from that. And he started mingling with those who were of the power, where the power was. I said, see, that's how you get out of the hood. It starts in the mind. So if you are living in a country where it has a very powerful capitalist structure, and if you really want to be free, then you're going to have to understand that your freedom starts inside, in the mind. So what you need to do is find out what your gift is. Utilize that gift. Find out how to integrate it into the power structure with the right people, and you go from there. And don't keep anybody on board that you don't have any more use for.
That's why.
No, go ahead.
I said that's why, I want you to be a lot more selfish going forward, especially now that you're like in the redemption part of your life. Mm-hmm. Once you do get back or whatever, once you get your spot back to where you get camera out, I want you to focus on you or whatever, man. I'm talking about just completely be selfish or whatever. You like right now, you like at the victory lap. And like you're gonna get your books out and do everything else that you talk about, you're gonna have to be selfish. You got to be like an eternal vision, like F everybody and everything that ain't for your growth.
You need to see my last post
on Facebook. I'm gonna check it out when we get off.
Because it talks about just that. It talks about how a lot of times you're gonna have to hurt a whole lot of people's feelings, even people who are innocent.
Yeah.
In order for you to become successful, because even though those people are innocent, they just so happens to be in the presence of someone. They happen to be in the same environment with someone who is detrimental to your success.
Yeah.
And so, in order for you to be successful, and for order for you to get to a point in your life to where you have peace of mind, because it really doesn't matter how much money you have if you don't have peace of mind. Your wealth don't mean anything.
No, but again, I know you know that very well through all the celebrities you know personally. Hey, I bet you out of all the celebrities you know that you probably got more peace of mind than all of them combined.
I do. And I just came to realize that about 6 days ago. And when you have that going into your craft, there's no way in the world that you can't be successful. No way.
Right.
And so when he got away from all of that, and he got on that stage in that suit to symbolize, I'm done with the hood stuff, I'm going into business now. And then you wonder how he ended up with somebody like Beyonce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As ugly as he is, how did he end up with Beyonce? You need to look at the man's life. And you need to understand exactly the moves that he did. I mean, this man is buying, football, basketball teams,
Yeah, I think Dave here owned like part of the Brooklyn's Nets at one point, like a small. He you know, a lot of people try to put him down and say he owned a very small percentage, but I'm like, at least he had the money to even own the 1% of it. You niggas don't own 1% of your own home if y'all own a home.
The whole thing is, look at where the man's head is.
Right.
He ain't rapping no more. You know what I'm saying? And if he
he is, but he don't have to.
But you know, if he wants to rap, he can.
Right.
You know, so he has a choice now. He's got a choice now. And the whole thing is, he put himself in the position to where he don't have to lean upon the JC rap image. He can go back and forth to it if he feel like it. How many of them can do that?
Most of them can't.
You think Sir Mix-a-Lot can go back to rapping? So nobody want to hear him no more. Ice Cube is supposed to be coming out with a new CD.
Yeah.
He better hope it works.
Came out with one.
He better hope it works.
But he don't need to. He made so much money from his movies and stuff.
Right.
That he don't have. He just doing it just for fun.
Right, and that's the reason why it has to work. Because due to the fact that he don't need to do it, it better work. Because if he does it and it doesn't work, it's over for him. As a matter of fact, it's going to destroy the whole, you might as well say, disposition of any rap album that he had already previously had out. Because like they say, you are only good as your last hit or failure. So if he is coming out with a new CD, it better be talking about something.
Yeah, the new CD is called Everything is Corrupt. It's like a political type rap album.
Well, it better, and it better have some bad beats to it. He better not be messing around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if it hits real big, let's hope that he's wise enough to leave that as his last one. Okay. You punched everybody in the face real good. You made a big impact as a rapper. You showed everybody you still got it. All right, step down, leave it alone. Don't get caught up in the whirlwind. Oh man, that's cool. I did it. I'm gonna keep doing it. Well, you keep doing it, you're gonna destroy yourself. Because whether people realize it or not, hip hop is going out.
It needs to, because this hip hop that these kids are listening to now is trash. I'm talking about pure stuff. I thought a lot of stuff when I was coming up was trash. This stuff that my nieces and stuff, the stuff they hear on the radio is like garbage to the 10th power.
Yeah, but you know, the next time he send me, I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna write him a real long email, and I'm gonna tell him I'm absolutely not interested in this exodus out of Mississippi. Dude, shut the hell up. Are you serious?
Right.
Dude, I ain't never been to Mississippi, don't plan on ever going to the South. Like my old man said, you know, you come out here to Arkansas and I'll show you where your grandmama and your granddaddy is buried. So you want me to come all the way to Arkansas to stare at a couple of tombstones? Because pretty soon the federal government, I told you this before numerous times, the federal government wants all that land back.
Right.
The cemeteries. It's the reason why they purposely increasing the funeral prices now, and they lowering the cremation prices down. Pretty soon you're going to be able to cremate somebody as low as $500. $500. And for that to be sped up as far as the process is concerned, they'll probably put you on a payment plan with that. you would have a website that you would have to pay for like every 6 months, probably like $100 every 6 months. You go on there, you can write to your loved ones, since you actually think since they've got everybody feeling like the internet is actually communicating with the dead. I mean, you got people on Facebook that write prayers down. Lord, I just want to thank you for dude, you are at a computer. People write their prayers down. Lord, I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for waking me up this morning. Excuse me, dude. You are on Facebook writing down a prayer. And they seeing all of this. They say, okay. There's so much going on right up under people's noses. And it's gotten to the point that people, once you tell them that this is what's going down, they don't care. They so caught up in this feeling like, they actually think they got freedom. And slowly but surely, Facebook and all these other social media formats is showing them, no, you don't have a whole completely freedom. This is the reason why we throw you in Facebook jail. This is the reason why they suspend certain accounts of Instagram.
And don't forget YouTube. Man, I remember you telling me a long time ago about how everything in the future is going to be digital, just like what you just said about when people die, they family members go post on the online guest book every year or whatever. It's crazy or whatever. But I definitely see that. I'm talking about maybe 5-10 years from now happening, when they just start charging people, just like what you just said. I think you told me that. I don't know if it was this year, but you said that like a while ago about what you see happening.
Yeah, I told you about that before we started recording these, because when I was going down to UNLV, when I was sitting in those formats, I remember that one evening, and this wasn't even a format. It was, it's like a semi-format. It was me and 7 other professors, and they were sitting up, and they were just talking about it. Just came right out and talked about it. They talked about it. This was 96, Josh. 1996.
22 years ago, dang. 23?
Yeah. And they got everybody conditioned to accept it by way of the internet, Facebook, all of this stuff. People going to accept it. And it's all for one thing, to get their land back, so they can build up on top of the land, so that they can turn the earth into the Death Star, to where it's just going to be a big machine, cold on the inside, filled up with death, no humanity left, nowhere. It's going to be just like the Death Star. The rise of technology and the fall of humanity. And when it manifests, I hope that I'm like Krishnamurti. I hope that I'm in my 90s and on my way out.
Yeah, it's me and your sons who got to see this.
But you want to know something? Regardless, life is extremely interesting. It's very interesting, especially when you have a mind that is sensitive and open. That it makes it even more interesting.
Right.
When you have a mind that contains an insight. See, because they're making the world so cold, and they're making it cold by way of technology. You see the way people address each other on the internet. Good morning, my beautiful queen, and blah, blah, blah. You know you wouldn't talk that way to her.
If you did, she'd laugh at you.
Even the way they...
There you go.
Even the way that the women talk. I love black men. I love me some brothers. Hi, good morning, brother. Greetings, brother. You would not say anything to that brother on the street. What was you gonna say?
I was reading the article today. They were saying that now text messages has taken over to where people don't even like talking on the phone no more. I'm like, dang, we have gotten so just far away from being human that now we just become robots.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of restaurants, a lot of times people be on their phones. They can be eating or sitting right there and they're right next to each other. And they can be texting each other instead of talking. That's so stupid.
You become more machines. Your machines now.